Good day, my viewers. Today we're going to be talking about coefficients of terms or entity. In mathematics, we have different entity ranging from alphabet to surd to logarithm, and it's very necessary for students to be able to identify the coefficients of most of the entity, so that they will be able to add and subtract items in maths. In algebra, we have different alphabets. Each of these alphabets are different entity. Your ability to differentiate between entity will help a lot when you are identifying their coefficients, and also when you are adding and subtracting all these entity. Different entity cannot be added. That is, they are unlike terms. Also, similar entity which are like terms can be added. But that is not where we are going today. Today we are just focusing on coefficients. The coefficients will help you to know the amount of an entity that is present in a given question. But if you don't know the entity, it will be a problem to identify the coefficients. This is what I'm trying to say. I will just give 3 examples, and we'll try to identify their coefficients. And I say the coefficient tells you the amount of an items. That is the amount of an items. How many of the items that are there? It answers the question how many. That is that is the function of coefficient. It tells you how many. When you know the how many of an item, you can add and subtract them. That is it. Like I said, we'll be looking at just 3 examples. We'll be looking at 3 examples. The first one, if you have a question s plus x plus 2s, if they ask you what is the coefficient of, let's look at the question, s plus 2s plus s squared. In this question, if you are asked what is the coefficient, if you are asked what is the coefficient of x, this is s plus x plus 2s plus s squared. Now this is x, this is x squared. This s squared is a different entity. It's not s. S squared is different from s. Just like someone having one head and someone having double head, they are different. They don't look alike. That is it. Small letter is different from capital letter. The same thing. X squared is different from x. They ask you what is the coefficient of x in the following. We are looking at the coefficient of x only. This is s, this is s, this is s. The coefficient of this x is 2. The coefficient of this x is 1. The coefficient of this x is 1. That is 1 plus 1 plus 2. That is 4. That means we have what? 4s. Don't forget, we still have s squared. This is 4x. We are looking for the coefficient. Don't forget, that is what they asked us to look for. Now, 4s plus s squared. The coefficient of x is from here. That is, from here we get our coefficient. That is, the coefficient of s is what? Is 4. That is the answer. The coefficient of s is 4. If they ask what is the coefficient of s squared, the coefficient of s squared is 1 here. That is, the coefficient of s squared is 1, while the coefficient of s is 4. Are we together? Let's look at this question. This is 5s minus 2s plus 3. We are asked to look for the coefficient of s. Don't forget, 5s minus 2s plus 3. This is ordinary number. This is alphabet. This is alphabet. This is s. This is s. This is the problem we are having, and we need to solve it. That is, Let's combine these two together. This is the coefficient of this s is minus 2. The coefficient of this x is what? 5. That is, we have 5s. Now we need to subtract 2s from 5x. It will remain what? 3x. Then we have a 3 at the back end. That means the coefficient of s is what? Is 3. That is, the coefficient of s in this question is what? Is equals to 3. The coefficient of s is not equals to 3, but the coefficient, that is the number attached to the s, is 3. Then the next question we are going to look at is let's look at this. This is a question. You are asked to find the coefficient of s from here. How do you find the coefficient of s from here? Just open the brackets. X times 2x, that will be what? 2s squared. S times plus 1 is what? Plus x. The next one is minus 3 times 2s, which is what? Minus 6x. Minus 3 times plus 1, which is what? Minus 3. Now let's look at it. We have opened the bracket by this. So here we have s and s. S squared is different. It's a different entity. They are not similar. It's a different entity. So plus x and minus 6x. The coefficient of x here is 1. The coefficient of x here is minus 6. That is 1 minus 6. It gives us what? 5. It gives us minus 5x. Don't forget, we still have what? 2x squared here. Then minus 3. So the coefficient of x now is what? Minus 5 only. That is, this is the coefficient of x they asked us to find. That is the coefficient of s is equal to what? Minus 5. If they ask you to look for the coefficient of s squared, we just say the coefficient of s squared from this question is what? 2. This 2. This 2. The coefficient of s squared is what? 2. That is does it. So the coefficient tells you how many how many of an items that you can see in a given question. That is, the function of coefficient is to tell you what? The amount of that entity. And the coefficient is always in the front of that entity. It's always in the front of entity. Sometimes you can identify them without workings, but sometimes you need to solve to identify the coefficient of a particular question. These are common questions in WAEC, especially under quadratic equation. Example is this number 3. So that is that regarding coefficient. It answers the question how many of an entity. Your ability to know the coefficients of an items, especially similar items. You must be able to differentiate between items that are similar and items that are not similar. Capital letter is different from small letter in mathematics. Mathematics, when you are adding, it doesn't talk about singular or plural form. That is it. If they tell you rat plus rat, the answer will still be in rat. Maybe 3 rat plus 3 rat. The answer will still 3 rat plus 3 rat will still give you 6 rats. In mathematics, you want to write it down. Don't put s. If you put s, it may get you confused when you are dealing with algebra. So that is that regarding coefficient. Thanks for watching. Once again, is your smart tutorial initiator, Ayodele Samuel Jude, aka Samuel Dino. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and share the video with your friends. Thanks for watching once again.